Hi everyone, Chef Rose here, and I'm going to show you today how to make vanilla pastry cream from our textbook on page 300 and make it into banana cream pie. And so let's begin. You can see I have all my mise en place ready. I have my crust ready. I bought a graham cracker crust at the store and I followed the directions to bake it. And so it's nice and crispy and brown right now. So that's perfect. Off to the side. I have my 4-quart saucepan ready. I have my tools, whisk and spatula. And so I have 1 pint of milk, which of course is 1 pound or 2 cups. I have my sugars, two at 2 ounces each. I have my cornstarch at 1.25 ounces. I have my 1 whole egg and 2 egg yolks. And then of course the butter, 1 ounce of butter, and a little bit of vanilla bean paste to put in at the end of the custard. And of course, I have my bananas. And so when choosing bananas, obviously the black, really ripe one is going to taste better, but it's a little too soft and will probably really get super brown in the pie. So I went with the yellowish bananas and I cut up about 2 medium bananas and I'm going to put a little fresh lemon juice over them to kind of minimize the browning that's going to happen, the natural browning that happens. And just kind of toss it around with the lemon juice. Perfect. Okay, that's ready to go. So the first thing I want to do is I want to heat up the milk, and this will make cooking the custard so much faster. But I want to save maybe about 1 ounce or so, maybe about 2 ounces. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I'm going to take one of my 2 ounces of sugars, just one, and then go ahead and give it a little stir. And then we're going to heat this milk, medium heat, just till it's warm. It doesn't have to boil, just till it looks like it's starting to bubble a little bit. So that'll take a couple minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to take this 2 ounces of extra milk and take the cornstarch. I'm going to make a slurry. And a slurry is simply a cold liquid added to the cornstarch. And what this does, it helps the cornstarch hydrate and makes it easier to mix in as well. Give that a good stir. Good. It's called a slurry. Slurry. All right, put that aside. I have my eggs. And of course, as always, whisk them first. Break up the protein bonds that are naturally present. Okay, I'm going to add my other 2 ounces sugar, and I'm going to add the slurry. Make sure you stir it again. Sometimes the cornstarch will want to settle a little bit. Good. Sorry, I'm using one hand, so it makes it a little tougher for me trying to hold the camera. There we go. Good. You can feel it. You can feel when all that cornstarch is mixed in. All right, good. Pour that into your egg mixture. Whisk that together. All right, perfect. Let's check the milk. It's heating up nicely. It's really good to have all your ingredients scaled out, as you know, and ready to go. I'm using, of course, unsalted butter And you could use vanilla extract. You can use vanilla bean paste, which is nice because it has a little vanilla bean seeds in it. You can see it. Or just vanilla extract. Whatever you have will be fine. I also have plastic wrap ready because we want to cover the finished pie to make sure it doesn't form a skin on top. All right, I'm going to just give this a quick stir. See where it's at. All right, it's getting warm. Again, this process of warming the milk will make the whole process of cooking with the eggs and the starch much faster if the milk is warm, rather than just taking it from a cold refrigerator. So once the milk is warm, we're going to slowly add that and temper that into our egg mixture. Let me grab another whisk. Okay. You always want to keep the heat about a medium heat. You don't want to cook this on high. And what's going to happen is, as we're cooking it, we're going to cook the starch, and that's going to help thicken the custard. But the cornstarch also not only thickens the custard, but it also protects the eggs. So when you bring this to a boil, normally eggs in high heat don't like each other, and the eggs would curdle. But the cornstarch protects those eggs from curdling. Okay. Great. I'm starting to see some bubbles around the side. I see a little steam coming up. So with my whisk, now I usually temper this milk into the bowl with the eggs, but since I only have one hand, I'm going to slowly add the yolk, the egg mixture into the pot and whisk as I go. So it's called tempering. Slowly adding this, the eggs. I'm going to whisk a little bit. Add some more. And add the rest of it. Okay. Now you have to whisk constantly. You're going to wait for the mixture to boil. And again, it's really important. I really want to scrape that bowl. But since I only have one hand to do it, let's see if I can get the rest of this mixture in there. There we go. Okay. So you're going to whisk constantly. It's going to come to a boil pretty fast here. Let me try adding my work light here. Ah, that helps. All right. You'll start to see it's going to feel thicker. And once you see some big bubbles from the boiling, plop, 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 you know you're getting close. I can turn down the heat just a little bit. And you can see those bubbles. Ah, perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. That's what I want. I want to make sure the cornstarch is cooked, usually around about 2 minutes to make sure. Keep going, a low heat. But make sure it's boiled for that 2 minutes. Otherwise, you might taste the starch a little bit if you don't cook it long enough. All right. Looks wonderful, nice and thick. Turn off the heat. I'm going to add the butter. I like adding it at the end. That way you get the full flavor of that butter. And then I'm going to add the vanilla bean paste. Give that a stir. You want to stir it till the butter melts completely. Now here is when I would normally have all of you taste it. Certainly a good thing to do to make sure it tastes like you expect pudding should taste. But we'll skip that tasting part. We'll do it next time we're together. All right, looks great. Now, you want to use a brand new spatula, right? Because I had raw eggs on my other spatula. So the key to doing this banana cream pie right is that you want to put a thin layer of the pastry cream. Don't put the bananas right on the bottom of the crust. It actually makes the crust soggier, and it's better to kind of put the bananas right in the middle. So I'm going to dollop some of the custard right into the bottom. A little bit more. Spread it out a little bit. Okay, great. Now, my bananas. Now, since I only have one hand, I usually place them really nice, but I'm just going to plop them on there and kind of spread them out. Spread them out real nice. So that everybody gets some bananas. Okay, good. Now again, I would normally just pour the rest on, but since I only have one hand, I'm going to scoop it right on. This way it covers the bananas and slows down the browning process as well. So you want to eat this pie within 2 to 3 days, and if you're like most families, probably going to eat it within a day because it's so good. Just spread it, make sure all the bananas are covered. And again, this will minimize their browning, and eventually they're going to brown a little bit. It's just part of the normal process of bananas and the reaction. Just make sure it's well covered. There we go. Spread it all out. A little bit more right there. Beautiful. And of course, what's banana cream pie without whipped cream? So you can either whip some cream yourself or buy a can of the whipped cream. Either way, you want to let this sit at least 2 to 3 hours in the refrigerator. I know, it's going to be hard to wait. So I'm going to put the plastic, and again, I want the plastic right on the top of the custard. I want it touching the custard so that it doesn't form a skin. There we go. Into the refrigerator, and there you go. There's vanilla pastry cream made into banana cream pie. Thanks for watching. Bye.